Well, at this moment, it is apparent that Tinubu has taken it upon himself to destroy all the empire, the caliphacy of the Fulanese. Because in the last 2 hours, Tinubu just appointed another Southwesterner who goes by the name Samsudeen Babatunde. Now, in the comment section, look at what we have. You know, a lot of Fulanese are just complaining here and there. Like, well, this is more or less uh, double of what Buhari did. That Buhari, that everybody thought was a nepotistic person, is actually learning beside Tinubu. What we have here, Gimba, is saying, and yet you are telling us this is a rigorous selection. However, you happen to have selected a Yoruba guy. That this election is government for the Yorubas, by the Yorubas, and indeed for the Yorubas. Yeah, you see, there's one thing to say: one good term deserve another. What did I say? One good turn deserve another. Because the Igbos are not lamenting. In fact, the Igbos are just laser focused, sustaining their region, doing everything possible to stay afloat, develop their state. They are concentrating on their five allowable states. And with the recent addition that Tinubu has brought on board, which is the Southeast Development Commission, and we can see that Tinubu has allocated there, I think, around 300 billion for this year alone. For this year, 2025, Tinubu has budgeted 300 billion for the development of the Southeast. And what do we have? We have seen some unbelievable people come out and sing the praises of Tinubu from the Southeast. In the Middle Belt, we have equally seen some people, because Tinubu has also donated nothing less than 200 billion to the development, to the reconstructions of villages, homes, creating access roads, which are farms to cities roads in Benue, in Plateau. I mean, these are areas that has always been besieged by bandits. And we can see that the praises are coming from their own end, the Middle Beltans, the Southeasterners. We can see the Southerners are just recently gave Tinubu, in fact, one of the oldest and the highest chieftaincy title, just like the Bogu of Niger. They've also given him one very prominent chieftaincy title from Akwa Ibom. It simply means those ones are passing vote of confidence. But those that are against Tinubu, those that are hell bent saying that Tinubu will be a one-time president, are the Northerners. When you ask them, why are you saying Tinubu will go? There's only one thing they'll tell you. They'll tell you that Tinubu has marginalized them. Didn't we see when one Alpha came out, when he said we supported the Muslim ticket because of our own selfish interest? Well, we felt that when we vote for you as a Muslim ticket, maybe we would have, a larger space on the table, and by that you will reciprocate by appointing more of our children. They are lamenting, crying wolf that Tinubu is now a tribal bigot. That how is it possible that Tinubu will pay them their they will pay back their own kindness with this sort of evil? In fact, they are saying Tinubu is very evil with these kinds of appointments, wherein in the Minister of Finance, the Yoruba man, the Minister of you know Petroleum, a Yoruba man. Today we have Attorney General. Accountant General of the Federation, a Yoruba man. Attorney General of Federation, a Yoruba man. The CJN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, a Yoruba man. The Chief of Army Staff. The list goes on. I think there's only one thing Tinubu has discovered, and I think this is why it is important that we understand that we were never meant to be together. And I think many of us are beginning to understand and learn. That when you try to pander to the Fulanis, the only thing that you know awaits you is your downfall. Let us take a quick look at Jonathan. Jonathan did everything. He did everything possible to assuade, to persuade, to satisfy the Northerners. Jonathan, in the space of 5 years, built nothing less than 500 alimanjiri schools. These were not schools that were minor. These were major, gigantic schools, monumental schools. Jonathan built nothing less than 1,500 kilometers of roads in the north. Jonathan sent most of the palliatives that were meant for the Southerners. He sent it to the north. At the end of the day, what did they tell Jonathan? They said Jonathan has to go because he is not one of them. One. Two, they said Jonathan has to go because he was killing their sons. Their sons, these are the bandits, these are the ISWAPs, these are the kidnappers, these are the marauding Almanjiris, whatnot. So, I believe these are the things Tinubu have learned. That I will not be a fool. I'm not going to act like the gullible Jonathan who tried to, pander to you guys' sentiments. But at the end of the day, what you guys did to Jonathan was you still all voted him out. They voted him out. That's it. Imagine a situation whereby Tinubu, whom of course is performing woefully, but imagine a situation whereby Tinubu now has maybe a Fulani man as the Minister of Finance. Or shall I say maybe the Minister of mineral resource, or let's just say a critical sector. Do you know how much these guys would have done to sabotage his administration? We all know how the Northerners who were in Jonathan's cabinet, how they did everything possible to sabotage Jonathan. They were the same people that said that Jonathan was a drunkard. They were the same people that said that Jonathan was being controlled by his wife. You know, this thing of urbanizing the nation, I think is the right way to go. If the Igbo man gets there tomorrow, I would not advise him to be nationalist. He has to unpick his own people for himself. He has to ensure that those that are around him are of his ethnic extraction, those that he knows he can trust wholeheartedly. Even when he closes his eyes, nobody will behead him. These things needs to be pronounced loud and clear. Perhaps when that is done, we will realize and come back to our senses that we cannot continue to live in this delusion, grandeur, because we cannot push forward. It is impossible for us to live as one in a country called Nigeria because in the north they said they don't want to go to school. I read a tweet earlier today when Showore talked about the northerners, the northern governors being ignorant. A young guy, a very young guy, tweeted that Showore should just keep quiet. Yeah, this is it. He said, no one from the north is talking about you, Showore, but you are always talking about the north. Leave us with our ways. You have no control over us. We are servants of God, and we came into this world to worship, not to seek worldly things. This is from Hassan Kabir Yaru. And you tell me that we want to have a united Nigeria? When the person that started this one-term nepotism was, of course, Buhari. I mean, the likes of Obasanjo, the likes of Jonathan, they still did a government of inclusivity. They still appointed people from the north, people from the southwest. Yes, even if it's not balanced, but to an extent, they didn't do what Buhari did. Buhari came on board. He appointed, out of 200, he appointed 180 as top officials who were from the northern part of the country. The country did not burn down. In fact, everybody just swallowed it. Everybody just accepted their fate. We moved on. We saw how they were defending Buhari. In fact, it got to a point we started seeing the Fulani headers, grazing inside the farms of Southerners. We saw how a person like the Bauchi governor, he came out and said that, well, the Fulanis are global citizens. They have rights to work anywhere and everywhere in Nigeria, that they shouldn't be questioned. It got to a point they started wielding guns, ammunitions. Well, Buhari also said the same thing. He said, well, they can have guns because what they carry around worth millions and they need to protect themselves. And ever since then, we can see what has eventually turned out, how these Fulani headers have been going on rampage, dealing with people in the middle belt down to Benue, down to the southeast, down into the southwest. We can see what they've done in the Odno forest, in the Oyo forest. The northerners do not have the moral standing. They do not have that moral qualification to lament. They don't. They do not have that in any way. They do not have that lacuna, or should I say that qualification, to say that, well, Tinubu is a bigot. He only continued from where Buhari stopped. Oh yes, Buhari is the father of the new Nigeria of bigotry. Let me put it that way. Let me repeat it. Buhari is the father and founder of the new Nigeria of bigotry. Tinubu has only come forward to amplify it. I mean, we can see what is going on all over social media. Everybody now is a warrior of bigotry. Nobody is ready to talk about Nigerian progression. It has to be the Yorubas are better than the Igbos. The Igbos are better than all the tribes and races. We are not meant to be, and there's no point trying to patch it. Which we should not try and patch it. When you see Tinubu doing the wrong thing, let us encourage him. Oga, you know what? Continue to plaster the bigotry and the tribalism. Yes, you have to do it when it gets to a point and stage that these guys will say that, okay, you know what? We've had enough. Enough is enough. Let us all go our separate ways. Then we can now clap for the Fulanis. Because their complaint now, it does not worth anything. It is worth nothing. If they cannot agree to some mild levels of restructuring, whoever is there is win for all. He can decide to do anything. In fact, Tinubu can decide to just start appointing all the civil servants, Director General and PAMSEC. I think he should resign all the Northerners and appoint Yorubas, so that we can agree that, okay, this is a total Yorubanization of the nation. There's no need to talk about national unity. There's no need, because when Buhari was there, Buhari did not take into consideration the Nigerian diversity. In fact, when the Igbos came out, tried to protest that, well, Oga, your high level of nepotism is like never seen before. Buhari came out and said that those ones are just like a dot in a circle. That is why he called the Igbos and the Biafrans. He said they are just like dots in a circle. That he doesn't even have to worry about them. That they are inconsequential. You can imagine, in a country that we have three major tribes, a country that pretends to stand on a tripod that we have the Yoruba, the Igbos, and then the Hausa Fulanis. But then a former president came out to push the propaganda against them, and you expect Tinubu to come on board, not to do the same. It is impossible. I am not going to start it. Listen, gone are the days I will say Tinubu is a bigot. Whatever Tinubu is doing is the right thing. Because when the Fulanis tell you What you are doing is wrong. It is actually right. Yes. They said Tinubu is appointing Yoruba into his government. Tinubu is doing the right thing. Because when Buhari was doing it, they never spoke against him for one day. They never did. The Christians are asking that why would you want to shut down schools in the north because of Ramadan? The Fulanis are complaining. So you can see that they are always fighting for their own interest. The Fulani, the Northerners, these people, they only love themselves. They don't care about federal character. So when Tinubu is doing things like this, should I care? Well, I don't. I think he should intensify his appointment of Yorubas. When he does that, when he continues, I am sure the Igbos will not complain. I am sure the Middle Beltons will not complain. I am sure the Southerners will not complain. But I am sure of those that will complain. And these are the people that feel Nigeria belongs to them and them alone. These are the people that will not allow Nigeria to adopt new technology. These are the same people that will not allow Nigeria to have some progressive reforms and restructuring. I mean, you are literally closing business, closing shops, closing schools because of Ramadan. You have that temerity because you know that you work or you no work or you will collect salary. Simple and short. They know that federal allocation will come in. They know that IGR will be generated from rivers, Lagos. They know that some people are still drinking alcohol, and from that alcohol, they will generate funds, and that fund will get to them. You see, why wouldn't they say they want to shut down schools? The idea of the restructuring that Tinubu brought, imagine if that bill had passed. Which of them would say he wants to close down his school when he knows that if it doesn't work, he won't eat? So we have to continue to encourage Tinubu to keep doing these things. He should increase the tempo of the bigotry and nepotism. He has to. Yes. Because when you say that you want to deploy what we call meritocracy, what we call good standard, what we call let us share these things in accordance to your derivation capacity. It is these same people from the northern extractions that will stand at the gate of that conversation. They will be the stumbling block. They will be the one that will say that no, 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 it's not gonna work. So you see, I am not for, neither am I against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In terms of governance, Tinubu is a terrible person. He's not a good president. He has destroyed the economy. But in terms of bigotry for bigotry, I think he's doing exceptionally well. I think he's pressing the necks of the Buharis, of those that feel the country belongs to them alone. I think he's actually doing a good job. And for me, I think, well, that's it. They just need to keep quiet and stop complaining. Because when Buhari was doing his own, everybody just swallowed it and let it be. Bye for now.